Hello. So welcome to week 3. I'll update that on the title of the video. Hold on one second. This week we continue our discussion of social media, and we are going to be, so the videos that you'll be seeing are on social media this week, on social media channels in particularly. There is also a new reading to read as well that has to do with upcoming trends in social media from the Kantar group, along with a video that accompanies it. And there's some discussion questions as well. Again, I invite your discussion on those issues on the forum board so that you can discuss there. Other than that, other major announcements. Sorry, hold on one second. The groups have been announced, so you should be able to see your announced groups. Please let me know if you have any troubles contacting your group members. At this point, I expect that you to reach out to your group members and to start setting up at times and working on the next two deliverables, which are the project introduction and the team contract, which are due on February 8th. At one point in one of the documents, I got to find out where it is. It says February 1, but it's February 8th, so no worries on that. So that's coming up shortly, so please get a start on that and get it put together as quickly as possible. For the project introduction, you basically just have to choose a firm and then go through a little discussion as to why digital marketing would be appropriate for that firm. There's not much else you need to do there. You need to describe the firm a little bit, obviously, but regardless, it's pretty simple. The team contract might be the thing. It takes a little bit longer time. Hopefully you can work through it though fairly quickly and get together as a group and put it all together. As I mentioned earlier in the last office hour, since this is all online, there's no need to physically sign the documents and be faxing them around. If you just do a virtual signature of some sort for the team contract, that'll be more than fine. That's it for the team project. There was also a question about the individual assignments, right? For the individual assignments, essentially the way those work is that they are kind of mini take-home exams. Except since it's an online course, they're basically just mini exams. I did notice I had scheduled one of them over the spring break. Probably what I'll wind up doing is actually giving that assignment out 2 weeks ahead of time rather than 1 week ahead of time, which is what's going to happen with the first assignment. That way you'll have the end of the week before spring break to work on it, all of spring break if you want to work on it as well, and then the beginning of the next break as well. That also works out well because it's the analytics assignment, so some of you may need some additional time on that. Hopefully not, but it'll be there just in case you need it. So that's the plan for the assignments and the team project. Like I said earlier this week, you should be seeing some new videos come up as well this week. So you'll see videos discussing the various readings, and you'll see videos on the next couple of weeks worth of week for videos to watch for week 4 and so forth. However, I have realized from the offline class that the content that I put up is probably a little bit too much for 3 weeks already. It's probably going to spill over to 4 weeks, so don't worry too much about the lack of new videos coming up. They will be shortly, but really, I think that the content that's up there already is almost 4 weeks worth of content. If not more. So I'm not too pressed to put up the new videos right now, just because of the fact that there's still plenty for you to work through. That being said, feel free to keep working through the social media channels content. Social media strategy will be coming up next on the video content, and yeah. So not a whole lot today, right? Because that's basically it. Let me just bring up, I'll show off the couple of things I just discussed, so that you can see the various the group documents and things like that, where to find out about um, your groups, and the new readings that I have as well. Okay, so I gotta pull it up on this browser, create a new window for it, and hopefully we can get going. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's see, pull it up, window camera. I want to delete that one, add a new one, and nope, that's not it. Gotta find the right Google Chrome window. There it is. Okay. Okay, so here's Moodle. So as we talked about, you should be pretty much through all of, let me turn off my own video just because it's not distracting. You should be through pretty much all of the overview section by now, hopefully. Hopefully you've started on digital strategy, if not made it completely through that and research. And as I said, this next week, starting on Wednesday, I expect you to kind of start going through the social media channel section. As I said, this might take a little bit longer, so that's fine if it spills over for another week or so. Things coming up that are due, right? The big thing that's due is the team contract, which we went over during office hours a little bit last time, and the team introduction. So that's both there, hopefully, so that you can start working on that. And then the new readings and videos are up here under social media. So the Social Media Trends 2017 report and video by Kantar. I think this is interesting, right? It talks about how social media is changing, and how in 2017 it's really altering a bit. So hopefully that will give you some insight into what's going on, and create some interesting discussion. That's about it. As I mentioned, the next big individual assignment deadline. So if you look at all the deadlines that you have coming up, right? If you go into the syllabus, the next assignment, the big assignment deadline is on February 8th when you have the project introduction team contract. That's also the day that I will be announcing the conceptual assignment. So hopefully you'll see that as well at that time. And then you'll have 1 week till February 15th to complete the conceptual assignment. The basic idea is just there to kind of go over what you've learned already in terms of digital marketing strategy and social media. Obviously, since we won't have gotten into many of the details right yet, it's just kind of a first step into seeing what's going on there. The next one will be a little bit more technical, the analytical assignment, obviously, and quantitative in nature. Okay, I think that's it for today. I'll put the YouTube video up in the videos list as always, the office hours video. And if you have any questions, feel free to email them to me ahead of time. Oh, I forgot to show off the group document. So just in case if you lose the email or something from the groups list, you will, if you go to the announcements and go to the top announcements, right, there is the list of group assignments, right, and they're all there. I had to make a little bit of a shuffle since I first announced them. Hopefully it's not too much. And as I said, we have, because we have 42 people in the class, that winds up with 6 teams of 5 and 2 teams of 6. So that's the way it wound up. And if you have any questions or concerns about the group setups, let me know. Okay, feel free to email me. And I'm just checking to see if anyone's it doesn't look like anyone's in the stream, so no questions there. No other questions have come in on email since I last chatted. Oh, there was one question that came up a while ago that I wanted to double check on. Let me switch back. Okay. So some people have been asking a little bit about companies to work for, and how this works, right? And I expect your team to come together and make a decision about what company to work for. If you're having trouble with that, if you don't know of any companies, don't know who you want to work with, let me know. I can see a lot of times I have names that were suggested that other people might have. Some of them were actually posted in the forum, which is always great. But yeah, the names should be up there one way or other. You are, kind of creating this content, this strategy document for the company. You don't have to give it to the company if you don't want, unless you are under agreement with them to do so. But I think that working with a company is very valuable, and so I encourage it. I had a question about isn't this kind of like free work you're doing, right? But it's work you're doing for the class. Doing it in the context of a company makes it more valuable to you as an individual, and so therefore I don't see it as free work. It's something you're doing to learn about how to write digital marketing plans. The other question that came up was whether you had to worry about putting up content with a company's name on it that you didn't have an agreement with. And yeah, of course, if you don't have an agreement with them about the kinds of content that you can put up online in a public space, then I would recommend not doing it, right? But you can always do something like create creative content that uses a fake name for the purposes of this class, or something like that, right? Just so you can demonstrate kind of what the content would look like. Or you can just create the content offline, right? Like you could create images of what the web page would look like, what the Twitter accounts would look like, things like that. You don't have to actually physically create and install those accounts. I find it more valuable and helpful to you if you actually go about doing that, because then you get the experience of actually working with the various platforms. But if you don't feel like that's possible for whatever reason, or if you really want to do it offline, then you're free to do so. Okay. So let me know if you have any specific questions along those lines as things come along. But hopefully you'll enjoy this experience. It's supposed to, I find trying to, even if you don't have the best connection to the company, kind of working within the context of imagining you're creating the content for a real company really enriches the experience for you. I do find, though, as I mentioned before and several times, that the best projects out there are projects where the student groups have had a direct contact within the company that they can work with on a regular basis. So that's it for now. Next due date is February 8th for the team project introductions and the team contract. But of course you'll be seeing readings come along, and I encourage you to post and be active on the forums as part of those readings. Thanks, and I look forward to talking to you next week. Take care.